Hello everyone, it's me, Tyler. So this is just a little disclaimer before we actually get to the real video, of course. And before my intro, of course. So I want to put this disclaimer here because I always feel afraid of certain videos of mine if I'm too outspoken here and there. But of course, you know what I'm saying, I'm always gonna get people who like, love, or even dislike me, of course. Even when I feel like I'm speaking and doing the right things and things of that nature. Of course, there's certain people in the world, you know what I'm saying, that don't do the right things, but of course, good people in the world who do the right things and things of that nature. Yeah, I understand the climate of society changing within the world of customer service, how a lot of employees just can't do anymore here and there. For me, I don't know, maybe just from how I've been raised and stuff like that, I'm able to just keep going. And honestly, for me, I just think about the logistics for me, myself, and I, where I don't want a backbreaking job. And honestly, I do have a high school diploma. I don't have a college degree. So honestly, customer service is the way for me to go to get very much that less physical labor inducing work and more of a mental role. And honestly, these experiences will help me get into the more of an administration type of role of either admin assistant, front desk worker, clerical roles, this, that, and so forth, some type of office assistant or assistant, aka office environment where I do want to be at in my older years, of course, like 40s and 50s. I'm already 32, of course, so halfway there to a decade or so from now. But don't, people always ask me, especially at my new job, being like, how are you able to have such a cheery demeanor? And honestly, what I'm about to say in my video, I control my emotions, I control how the way I act, and honestly, I want this so badly for myself that I'll do anything to have this and keep this while going within my other job experience lineup that I can put onto my resume and this, that, and so forth. Just understand that this video is just a helping hand to, customer service employees out there. And of course, within the land of retail or cashier work or any other fields that you can take from this video. And of course, helpfulness to customers at that too. You know what I'm saying? People can feel how they feel. They can feel irate as they feel and things that's down and so forth, but it will not change my mind of how I feel about this for my life going forward and things of that nature. Because honestly, when you gotta do what you gotta do, just do what you gotta do, of course. And I support you on that, of course. But much love, stay lovely, and have a lovely day, and enjoy the video. Hello everyone, I think this is so cool. Awesome. I actually showed you the liquid and stuff like that. Of course, do this in moderation, y'all. I just do this for a minute. I think I'm gonna take it easy for a while, but that's besides the nature. Let's talk about surviving customer service, and honestly, hopefully y'all can take some cool tips and tricks from me from telling you my story with hopefully my good storytelling skills of just basically how to survive, freaking customer service and things of that nature. Because obviously, this is something I wanted to get into because I'm 32 years old. I have enough time to go through a lot of jobs throughout my life. And and I'm just a very natural optimistic person, and let's just get into it. Besides that, let's stay lovely, y'all, okay? Okay. Okay, so I know this will be a great type of video to make for my collection series I'm trying to start on with, the secret life of a McDonald's worker and things of that nature. Check that out. My first installment that I did a few days ago, moved into this apartment a few weeks back, recently, of course. Very Law and Order SVU style type of opening because I love that show and things of that nature. This will be the more emotional based, the more deeper, I guess say my own personal sense of analytical analysis of customer service and me being in customer service and how I'm surviving it, rather than the whole expectations of what the McDee's company would want from you, of course, and things of that nature. And of course, I probably would say the same stuff I'm saying in this video, so still being real at its finest, but of course, the McDonald's one is a little bit more sanitized and speedy, quick, just straight to the pace. But of course, you just hear me talking like I'm just chatting with you like I'm a lovely friend of yours, parasocialness at its finest. I don't mind that too. That's why I'm on here, of course. And that's one thing I would want to say about being a YouTuber right here, right now. I feel like this really helps me be in customer service because as a YouTuber, I want to give off the best representation of myself and really just be the truest form of myself, that I feel like I am a very kind individual, a very nice individual, and want to give that to people out there so they'll feel like they're just having someone that's talking to them just nicely, of course, and I want to bring that into customer service, but sometimes it's hard, believe it or not. And I know for a lot of people who are in retail or fast food or anything else that deals with customer service, it can be hard, to make someone's day shine the brightest, to be their light in their day. So to really start this video off on the right way, of course, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help me further become a full-time YouTuber, the 24/7 YouTuber to you guys. But yeah, hopefully y'all are having a lovely day, but if not, hopefully I can make your day even more lovelier after this video, and my day is gonna be lovely as ever, of course. I'm gonna try to make that into like my destiny for today, and of course going down the line, of course, into the future. But besides that, let me tell you guys a story, little story time snippet bit of what happened yesterday as a new hire at my new retail job at this home improvement store that I'm working at, of course. At this retail store, I got put into a very much self-checkout position. They do have a position like that at the store that I'm working at in retail in. And honestly speaking, for me, I feel like the job can be very much having a good amount of downtime. You can keep yourself busy. You can really be doing a lot of domestic type of work, like very not that much labor reducing type of work, like sweep up. Why I say sleep up? Sweep up around like your station, make sure things are stocked around your station, drinks, food, this and so forth. Me flashing back to my fast food job. But of course, there's different departments, and other departments, they don't have that for a lot of the cashiers, because honestly, I'm supposed to be a front-end sales cashier, of course, sales associate cashier, but mainly just a cashier in a nutshell. And so, I had a woman come up, and there was actually two women who came up, one by herself, one with her young daughter, and both of them seemed displeased, even the daughter of the second woman. And they were like, I did not get help anywhere, even though, where I work at is supposed to pride themselves on, helping people, this and so forth. Of course, I know a lot of positions can be very short-handed. I was told that by an associate after these interactions, of course, where I was like letting them know, like, oh my God, like I would have wanted to make their situation more better, was letting the customers know that, being like, if you need anything, let me know, or if you ever come back and see me, just let me particularly, trying to be that helping hand as a new hire person, because of course, either this is like your first job in customer service, or maybe like, you realize you just want to be in this type of position later on in your life, and you're like, let me bring like that nice energy that maybe not many other associates may be bringing. And of course, I know this can really down a good amount of employees' moods when you try to be like that helping hand, but the customers ain't going for it. They're like, no, you're like everyone else, da da da. But even after that, I wished them a lovely day after they self-checked out themselves, even though I let them know, like, hey, let me know if I can assist you in any type of way with self-checkout or anything. I was a little bit fumbling over my words when they were being like just a little bit irate and things of that nature. But that's the type of energy I want, especially like, being a YouTuber. I want people to direct their energy towards me nowadays. I want to be seen. I want to be, heard. I want to be talked at so I can listen to people's problems and this and so forth. Just have that human connection, which I feel like I'm very much missing in my day-to-day life. Even, I would also want that, like by garnering friends and stuff out and about, or even on their job, that doesn't come by that much. Those are the things where it's like, you just let them be and let them do their own thing, and you just do your own thing. Either stand and monitor like you're supposed to at self-checkout and help other people that may need assistance. There may not be a lot of people coming by here and there and so forth, but it's a thing where you have to like know to yourself that you are the person who can determine how your shift goes. Especially for me being a part-timer, I've been working 4 hours a day so far, about to be reaching 5 to 6 hours in this coming new week, since I'll be fully put onto this schedule. And for me, I'm just gonna take my shifts as like, hey, this is like an easy paced job. In a sense, I'm gonna make it easy for myself because that's how you have to tell it to yourself. It's like a mind game like that, and really where you have to use your mental power for this job. I feel like to really survive it and run through it smoothly, and also maybe even enjoy it in a nutshell. Because honestly, you can enjoy those moments when you're just talking to like your coworkers slash associates, your colleagues, and just having like a good old fun time, and not really worrying about too much of direct customers that you couldn't help, even though you tried to help them the best way that you could, or someone else couldn't. And I think that's one of the main things for me. I really love being a helper or a mentor, educating people on different things, even if I don't have the best knowledge. I really want to try my best. You know, I went through all the training modules, you know, fresh on my mind. So it's like, oh, if I don't have the knowledge, bring them to another associate and learn something from that associate to really help people better out in the future and to give them the right answers, of course. And of course, with the whole short-handedness, if people feel like they aren't feeling like they're helped out, you know, it's like, we have this thing where we can call people to certain stations that do have the knowledge, help out people if I can't leave like my station as a cashier. And I really like that about being a cashier, where I don't have to like be all over the place. I can just call someone else to help me, and I can just keep doing what I'm doing and just being like the laid back, chill cashier person and things of that nature. Yeah, and I feel like I really do want to be like that core person of a customer service person, where I go out and help people on the floor who are like looking throughout the aisles and they can't be seen to find help anywhere. And I feel like that's very as much an important role as like the end goal role for a cashier in the retail environment, where if you're just like that cashier that's at the ending point at someone's end of their stay there at the establishment, it's like the last line of defense, I guess you would say, to really make the customer's day here and so forth. But I feel like, you know, really the middle part is very important. Like they first come in, they get greeted, da da da, and they're just trying to look for things, and they're like, you know, parking upset, maybe disappointed, like, oh my god, I can't find this thing, I really need help, no one's really here. And then when they find that thing that they're looking for, it gets to the end, and I ask, you know, how was, you know, your stay here? You know, did you find anything that you need? You know, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like they've been through like here maybe for like 2 to 3 hours and without any help. And it's just like, dang. And that's why I'm like, I really feel like I will want to be a part of like that middle part. But of course, it's like a waiting game, a time game, a patience game with me and my part of me being newly hired, where I have to like wait to get into those positions. And honestly, a position like that was not open up when I first applied to any positions with this company slash store that I'm working at right now. And of course, you know, in customer service, especially if you work in retail, you know, you usually have to be like a salesperson sometimes, like selling them on different things, where it's like credit cards or free membership deals for them to start earning points as members. Usually a lot of people like that because they get a lot of free cool deals or discounts on their items. So for me, I kind of notice with myself, I try to be like this loud, bubbly person, and maybe some people may think that's, you know, a little bit too much, maybe the customers at times. And I feel like right now, it would even like frustrate me inside thinking like, like, you know, I don't know if people are receptive to this very well. You know, even if I'm having like a smile on my face and I'm trying to have like a cheery, enthusiastic personality, some people like it and other people are like, you know. So that's why I'm like, I'd rather be just like this chill person who just asks them one simple question. If they're like, no, I'm like, okay, cool. Let me know if you need any help. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna really do any like sales tactful things, because I used to be a sales consultant before, and honestly, at a phone store at AT&T, usually with that, that's a little bit more easier because people want to sit down and consult about their phone plan, about switching their phones over. They want to be talked to and sold to about different things, especially with a phone nowadays, especially with smartphones that people want to get into, even though I want to be very Y2K, early 2000s, and get back into having a flip phone again. And be very less smartphone-y, of course, you know, and things of that nature. You know, it's like a thing where, you know, that's why the middle core, I feel like with retail, if they're like talking to like a salesperson, like an expert on like appliances or this and so forth within the store I work at, they want to be sold to of these many things for their businesses, if they're contractors, business owners, or just random people who are just, you know, they have a house and they want to like put stuff into it. They would go to those people to be sold to, you know, when it comes to like a cashier and stuff like that. I feel like it's like the least thing that people want to be interested in, of course. And it's very different from Walmart, because I shop at Walmart a lot in self-checkout, and they don't really come up to you that much at all. And I believe that's really part of the job description, for them to just monitor greet people in their position, wish people a great day, and that's it. You know, they don't really be proactive, go up, be like, do you need assistance? Are you interested in the credit card to save today of this much? You know what I'm saying? And my job entails those few things. But yeah, it's a great way to understand you're not gonna make everyone's day, you know, the greatest day, even with your smile and this and so forth. And honestly, just getting down to the hard truth of it, even with me, in my personal opinion, sometimes, like maybe you're a parent, maybe, you know, something that you just can't control for the reason why maybe some customers aren't letting you give you the great customer service, even though you're trying to, even though you're very unbiased. Sometimes there's like this root feeling in the back of your head, feeling like maybe they just don't want someone like me talking to them, you know? And that's just something that has always been in my mind a lot. Even though I've been an unbiased person to a lot of people for all of my life, I feel like as an adult, I get into these complex thoughts a lot more than I used to as a kid, aka very non-existent, where I seen so many people's different personalities, especially on the news, especially on social media, in different ways, you know, the whole like where customers get irate, you know, at employees or vice versa. And, you know, I'm like, you know, maybe people just don't like a person like me talking to them. You know, they may peg me out being like, oh, you're gay. Oh, this is your background that I can see clearly, you know, try to keep it professional and stuff like that, like right here, right there, y'all. But sometimes that's just the cold hard truth in the sense of like maybe discrimination, prejudiceness, you know, and that's something that you have to like glaze over and just keep doing your job. If it's something that you feel like you like doing and you feel like the work isn't really hard based off the description, and there's a way to like not make it hard, but still do the things that you're put out in your duties to do at the job itself. And of course, for your mindset, y'all, just be telling yourself, I can do this, I'm able to do this. No one is able to change how I act or the words I say out of my mouth to people. Like, they don't control me, I control myself. I'm able to make others happy. I'm able to speak happy words into existence, you know, and just treat it as like an acting game. You know, if you're like an actor in training, want to go off to Hollywood, do movies and TV shows, and you're a young person or a middle-aged person or this and so forth, just treat it like that, you know, like in a sense, you know, when people say playing the game or faking it till you make it type of vibe, you know, or faking it till you make it, but you're legit, you know, you're not trying to fake it. But honestly speaking, it's just building up your customer service skills, and you really just want to dish out great customer service. Even if in your day-to-day life, you can be probably like an angry person sometimes because certain stuff gets you very much upset than others. You know, you may have debates with a lot of people, this and so forth, you know, but usually, you know, if you're someone like me and works customer service, you want to give out that energy. You're just trying to give out that energy, even if you're not feeling the best today and feeling the best in the mood, to feel like you will want to wish someone a great day and you're like your downtime when you're off of work. But when you're on work, you're like, you know, I want to do the task at hand. I want to be like, hi, how are you doing? Having, you know, like, you know, just making the business look great and good with you as their employee, you know. And I don't see nothing really wrong with that when we think about, you know, people not liking customer service today, and since working in customer service, the employees like me, you know, yeah, you know, for some people they say it can be like the customers here and there, but honestly speaking, I'm not gonna let, you know, customers, you know, make or break me, of course, because at the end of the day, they're people, I'm people. You know what I'm saying? You know, how they act, maybe how I act. But honestly speaking, I don't believe that for myself, because honestly, in real life, for me, when I go shop out places, I know how things are, and I was always raised to be like a nice, respectful person, and knowing that, you know, I don't have to, you know, really pay attention to people who aren't respectful or who aren't nice to people, and to know not to put them on a totem pole of any sorts. But I would say working self-checkout at a retail place, or even being a cashier at a counter, you know what I'm saying? It could be very different games to play, you know, when you're giving customer service and things of that nature. But always remember, if you know you only have like one particular line to say, that's part of your duty to really help the business out. You know, just ask like that one question and you're like, okay, cool. And, you know, start a little chit-chat conversation if you want to. Be like, oh, you're buying this? Oh, this looks nice. What's it for? You know, of course, you know, if you feel like the customer is not having it, they just, you know, want the transaction to be smooth and quick, you know, just be like, cool, da 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 da, have a great day, here's your receipt, and of course, I know like with a lot of places they may have surveys, be like, okay, here, you can do a survey if you like, of course, to give me a 10, of course, across boards, if you feel like I gave you great customer service, or however your line is, of course, some people that work in customer service, they can be like very salesperson-y when they do the whole survey spiel, or maybe not, being like, hi, can you do this quick survey? Of course, if you believe I give you great customer service, I very greatly appreciate it. You can give me a 5 to a 10, of course, depending on how big the rating is. But besides that, y'all, I gotta really get to work, of course. It's probably like 8:40, 8:50 by now, so it took me about maybe like 10, 20 minutes to make this video. I feel like hopefully not 30, of course. And I'm gonna listen to the rest of my chill hop music and things of that nature. But hopefully this has helped you out, and hopefully I've been like that kind heart and helping hand to people out there who do work in customer service to know, like, people sometimes don't mean what they say, aka customers and things of that nature. And of course, if any people who are customers who don't work in these industries who are watching this video, of course, hopefully you have a better understanding of, people who do work in customer service, to have a better understanding and to, always remember, people are there to help you. Even if you feel like you don't want help from no one and you don't want them to talk to you, just understand people are there to help you. And that's part of their duties and due diligence. Even if at, a lot of other places you may feel like, no one's here really feeling like they're here to help me and things of that nature. When it comes to like a lot of other places, really honestly, they're supposed to be helpful, of course, and things of that nature, but always like have that in your mind where it's like, there's always some person that's there willing to help and things of that nature. If I know I have a particular problem, just let them know what that is, and yeah, and they should be able to help you, or go to like, again, like hire people, of course. Of course, things happen where, the experience isn't that greatest, and, everyone's valid, in their experience and their own opinions and things of that nature, what I'm saying? Yeah, at the end of the day, we're all gonna get to that truth in the matter of it all. Because I feel like we always do, especially with the power of the internet and social media nowadays, video recording people, this, that, and so forth. But I digress. Anyways, hello everyone, this is me after work, even after the very, very end of this YouTube video. After all of this video, this is me coming back in this splice right here to let customers all around the world know, when you meet a friendly face, even if you feel irate, even if you feel like no associate's helping you, when you see that smiling face, almost like mine, like, hi, how are you doing? Did you find everything all right? Someone who's actually talking to you nicely and actually, decipher, how nice that they're talking to you. And honestly, give them a chance. Like, give them that one chance to impress you, especially when they're like, oh, no, wait, I can do this for you. I can possibly help you with this. Or, even if they can't, at least they tried, and let them wish you a happy day. And of course, tell them, have a great day too, and let them know like, you're like the only nice person I've met so far. If that is the truth, of course, because that'll make their day and your day. Because honestly, I'm just like very genuine, nice person, which a lot of people feel like they don't ever see in this world anymore. And, I take stuff to heart. I take customers' compliments of me to very much heart. Like, aw, you're so sweet. And you're sweet too for giving me this compliment. You look great. You are great. You as the customer. And yeah, but that's all I gotta say for this little cut and splice and part of this video right here. Is always give that associate a chance that's really mean to help you. Especially if they say they're a new hire. That means like they're really wanting to help you because they want to do a great job and impress you and impress their bosses. But yeah, just a little bit of a suggestion and tip out there, because you may find help in the least suspected place of that person. Love y'all, kiss to everyone out there of the world, the planet Earth that we live on, of course, and things of that nature. Peace and love to everyone out there. And y'all have a lovely day, and I will too, as ever, of course. And yeah, so stay lovely and ciao for now. Hello everyone, I'm walking to work right now. I don't really do public vlogs too much, so this is really out of the ordinary for me, just a little bit still. I did one in the past, you can check that out. But I think the main thing is don't be too overbearing with customer service, you know what I'm saying? Like we all know like we want to do a great job and things of that nature, but you know, it's fine just to like take a step back and just pretty much chill for the most part, because sometimes that's not like the make or break it to your job position, honestly speaking, unless that job is very overbearing with you on doing said overbearing tactics. And if that's the case, you know what I'm saying, you can always find a different cashier or customer service position job someplace else. But besides that, I leave y'all adieu from these post credits and stay lovely.